Financial topics can sometimes feel disconnected from our everyday lives. Often, our financial goals seem so distant, whether it's saving for your child's college or funding a comfortable retirement. It can feel overwhelming to find ways to achieve those goals day to day. My name is Naj Srinivas, and I'm the host of Fisher Investments Market Insights podcast. In this excerpt from a recent episode of Market Insights, we look for a remedy for that disconnect between family life and financial life. To help us out, we talked to Jill Hitchcock, the Senior Executive Vice President of Fisher Investments' U.S. Private Client Group. Jill has been helping people define and reach their financial goals for over 20 years, and she's in a unique position to share some of what she's learned about harmonizing your family and finances. In her recent LinkedIn column, Jill wrote about how people can cope with financial fears that the coronavirus pandemic may have sparked. As we discuss that column, Jill walks through some common financial fears and covers how working with a money manager can help combat those fears. Here's part of that conversation with Jill Hitchcock. Let's talk about your first column, which was published in May, Coronavirus-Related Financial Fears Keeping You Up at Night. Here's how a money manager can help. Why is now the right time to write about financial fears?
Well, frankly, there's always something to be fearful of. If you look back years and years and years, there are always scary headlines. And so there are always a myriad of worries that have the potential to keep you up at night. But I think it's fair to say that people have even more anxieties recently, whether it's because they saw the market pull back so dramatically earlier in the year, or they're experiencing job loss, or they are concerned about their income in retirement. I think there are even more fears and anxieties. And so it seemed like the right time to start reaching out and give a little bit of context.
That's great. And of course, the media plays into all of those fears as well. People are consuming more media. There's the 24-hour news cycle. It serves to hypersensitize people to fears and how it impacts them. So what are some common financial fears that people harbor or maybe share with you in your role?
A lot of the fears are very consistent among our clients, and you see the same themes emerge over and over. Our clients tend to be in the years where they're either approaching retirement or they're in retirement. And so they worry about things like, are they going to have a consistent income stream now that they've stopped working? How are they going to make sure their surviving spouse is taken care of? How are they going to leave the legacy that they want to leave for their children or their heirs? And generally, how are they going to achieve whatever their own personal long-term financial goals are?
In this article, you propose 3 ways of working with a good money manager to help people with their fears. The first way that you describe is encouraging honest conversations about money. Can you explain that a little bit?
Absolutely. I think it's common to see people not really want to express their innermost fears, particularly to a money manager who they may not know very well. You know, we see clients who feel like they have to put on a brave face for their spouse or for their partner or for their kids. And we really encourage being very upfront and open about what your anxieties are. Sometimes those anxieties are merited, and your money manager will have a tough conversation with you about spending or whether you're ready to retire. But often those fears really aren't merited, and they're more tied to pulls back in the market or gyrations in the market. And what you really need is a forum to express those fears honestly, and then to have a conversation about what you can do to stabilize your financial situation or what some of the implications may be. We find that many of our clients listen too much to the news or are too driven by the day-to-day market movements. And often the best thing you can do is simply turn off the news, stop watching it every day, and go back to the fundamentals of the long-term plan that you put in place. And having a trusted contact, a trusted counselor can help you get through the really anxiety-ridden times, right? When the market pulls back dramatically, or when there are particular stocks in your portfolio that maybe aren't doing well, or you're questioning whether you can truly take the income that you had planned out of your portfolio. having that trusted point of contact who can be a less emotional sounding board for you can be one of the best ways to help you avoid making exactly the worst decision at the worst possible time. Too often we see clients and investors make decisions that are based on fear. So if you go back to earlier this year when the market was falling fast, it was tempting to try to mitigate that damage to your portfolio by selling. Well, what do you do when you sell as the market is falling, or you sell when the market has pulled back 20 or 30 or 40%? You lock in those losses. That's when you really do harm to the likelihood of being able to achieve your long-term financial goals. And having someone who you trust and who can help counsel you through those tumultuous times can really help keep you on track.
So how else can a money manager, or should a money manager, be helping you?
A good money manager, helps you in several different ways. First, they'll really take the time to understand your long-term financial goals and to understand what it's going to take to get you from where you are today to where you want to go. They're going to help you craft a plan that gives you the highest likelihood of achieving those goals. Along the way, they're going to talk to you about how your life situation evolves, right? Because life isn't static. There are going to be unexpected twists and turns, whether those are personal occurrences in your life or whether those are geopolitical events or a global pandemic. They're going to help you adapt. Maybe that's an unexpected expense. Maybe you're going to retire sooner or later than you anticipated. Maybe something happens that changes the income needs in retirement. And so a good money manager is going to help you navigate those twists and turns and make the adjustments necessary to that long-term plan.
That was an excerpt from my conversation with Jill Hitchcock, Senior Executive Vice President for the U.S. Private Client Group at Fisher Investments. If you like this podcast excerpt, subscribe to Market Insights wherever you get your podcasts. Thanks for listening.